All right, still coming off, baby. 3 criteria for the win. For the win. All the way down. 23 still going, baby. Still going. Look, now you play the 3 criteria to get out of shorts or to get back into longs. You just continue to play. Roll your stops according to the market and take your hands off. It's still going. It's still going. By the way, welcome, welcome. We are now starting the stream off with a bang, baby. With a bang. Hold on a second. I have to get this. Create invite. Sorry, things are a little hectic right now. Right, switching over to the streams. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Targeting the morning low here. Morning low right here. Still going. Still going. Beautiful. Beautiful. Still going. So this is one of those things, man, where trailing stops should never be tripped. It's just going. It's not even wicking, which is rare for this market. Usually every single red candle is wicked, but this is rare. It's just full-on, full market breadth candles all the way down. So trailing stops right now are your best friend. This is where the rules pay off. Pay off. Keep going, baby. Keep going. Beautiful. Hey, my payout was approved, finally. Just made a trade I was actually proud with. Beautiful, Sam. How'd you do it? Why'd you do it? What happened? Still going. Good. It's all right. We just did the 3 criteria. So now, what 3 criteria do you need to see to get out of your short or even long? What do you need to see? Conceptually. Beautiful stuff, baby. Beautiful stuff. Just made half of my profit goal. Okay. Good. Good. Right here, baby. Still going. Look, still going. On the 5-minute, we don't have any bottom wicks that's holding. We do have volume, but we don't have a bottom wick, and of course, we don't have a higher high. So until they start to break that down, at least on the 5-minute, roll your stop down, take your hands off. Because I have no idea where this is going. It could bounce now and rocket to new highs. It could sell off to pre-market lows. I don't know. But you don't know either. So just roll your stop, take your hands off. See if you can catch a big move. Do we switch streams at 10:30? No, sir. Just on Wednesdays, we switch over to Bookmap. I have a Wednesday stream on Bookmap from 10:30 to 11:30 Eastern Time. I traded 30 micros on 150. Do you think I was oversized? No. No. Because that equates to three minis. But closed my CCS ways too early. Thanks for teaching us about them in 2022. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Do you ride this side wave down? Don't get out of a short until you see, my opinion, bottom wick, higher highs or volume, which we have none. Right now, your trailing stop should be keeping you in this trade. There's no reason to get out of this trade right here. There's no wick. There's no buying. There's no sign of buyer in life here. We've already blasted through the 50% retracement, which is a lot of pivots that people make for Fibonacci. So at this point, you could face all the moves all the way down. The morning low, which is going to be, let me turn this thing back on, 22,980, and then below that. So if, in my opinion, I'll anticipate some sort of bounce off 22,980. I'm not going to get, oh, they already did it right there. Still going. So roll the stop on down again. Still going. Right into support. I don't know what the crap's happening, but it's going. Liquidity is 2302. Mexican copper exports benefit the U.S. industry. Some comments on Mexico. Crude oil inventories actual. The book is very light here on ES and NASDAQ. There's virtually nothing on the book. I mean, it looks like a freaking holiday here in terms of liquidity. We have a negative 5,000 CVD, so the sellers have hit this thing crazy. But it's just straight going, man. Straight going. Still going. Trailing stops in, not looking anymore. Thanks for your insights. You're welcome, Hadi. Well done. That's the way to do it, baby. That's the way to do it. Beautiful stuff, man. Absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. 3 criteria, baby. 3 criteria. You're loving the new me? Isn't it great, Matt, when you have rules? All right, so look, they just bounced off this pivot. They just bounced off this pivot. Support resistance flip. I just put a green block there, and they managed to wick right on top of it and bounce it. Am I a genius? No. I just know how to draw squares in the right places. I learned how to be a trader in kindergarten, apparently. Right there, baby. Right there. I got 100% of my short and I got stopped out. Beautiful. I feel like I lost since I kept going. Can't think like that. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to catch the entire move. Ever. So can't think like that. Put on your trade, set your stop, get out, go enjoy your day. That's all you need to do. Fantastic. Abso-freaking-lutely amazing. Can't thank you enough for demanding patience. Has helped me tremendously. Love it, Soda. 100% big guy. Amazing. So I broke down the whole thing there, man. I broke down the whole move. You got the 3 criteria stop. I gave you 2 parameters in which to enter, the aggressive approach and the conservative approach. All you had to do is wait. We broke below, all the way down. We bounced right in the zone. That's all you need. I should sign off right now. There's nothing else to talk about. That's it. Don't need another trade. How would I play Tesla? I'm not going to look at Tesla right now. I'll look over it on another stream. The book is incredibly, incredibly light. The way I used the book this morning, there was very little liquidity, but it was there. It was higher, 23,100 on NASDAQ. We came up, we absorbed the 23,100, and then poof, everything disappeared. There was nothing higher. The book was just gone. So at that point, I've got nothing really left to look for in terms of skew, in terms of order flow. So then we absolutely pivoted, and we stayed there for about an hour. Top wick, 3 criteria, broke parallel prior lows, down we go. We had a high volume influx there at 10 o'clock. It didn't show up on the 15-minute. It showed up on the 5, so you've got to play on the 5. Didn't show up on the 15. Top wick, top wick, top wick, roll over, poof, down we go. Now the book is completely void of any kind of liquidity. Zero, zilch, nada. We went from 4,300 CVD to 3,300, so it went negative, and then, of course, now we have a little supportive nature. But we bounce off right exactly where they should, which is the support-resistance flip. Support resistance is prior resistance, new support. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's like 16 of 18 green trades now since June 4th. They have 4x my account. Beautiful, Brandon. Beautiful. Fantastic, man. Love to see it. Love to see it. Still coming off. If they don't close over prior high, do not go long. You have to remain short biased until you see the 3 criteria hit. Stay with the market. Stay with the market. Took L's for the day. I'm done. Have a good day. Sorry to hear that. Let me know if I can tune things up a little bit. I catch crap for not chasing those big green moves, man, but patience rarely fails me. Patience rarely fails me. It's just a matter of waiting. Time for me to step away. Nice, Brandon. Have a good day, buddy. 62.88. If they fail this candle, target 22.921 NASDAQ. 62.85 ES. It was my own doing. Stop on ES was a little too tight. So to sum up, your system is counter trends. No. It's liquidity based. So I'll play, my favorite way to get into a move on the morning opens is that I exploit the morning open liquidity most of the time. So the market fluctuates, it pulls back into liquidity after a move up, bounce, and then continue the move up. It's the gathering of liquidity to continue on. Sometimes that plays into counter trends, sometimes it's continuation. But it's all liquidity based. It's all liquidity based. If the market climbs into an area and goes into consolidation on the daily chart, I'm still going to play long higher as long as the signs are there. As long as we don't hit distribution, I'm still going to play long macro into a higher price. Overnight lows, that would be aggressive, but possibly. I don't necessarily expect overnight lows today. I'd be very surprised to see that. But if it happens, yeah, I'll play that. Boom. Again, baby. Again, it's number 5 on this account. Numero 5. Let's keep it going. Imagine doing that with 5 accounts. I don't know, man. Every time I go with multiple accounts, I don't do well. Gets me greedy. I don't like it. Gets me greedy. So a little bit of liquidity that we do have here is at 6285. And they're basing a little bit lower. $6285, baby. There we go. It's game time, baby. It's game time. All that money's going right into IBKR, right into TLT. Inflate the bubble even more. Give me some dividends. Make your payout money work for you. Look what they just did with the options flow. Once again, with the amount of volume that we're dealing with, look at the options. Options just went from 1.7 billion in calls and 400 million of sold puts to 140 million of sold calls and 1.7 billion of purchased puts. So the delta just massively flipped. Massively flipped. Crazy stuff, dude. crazy, crazy stuff. Are they buying longer term? No, these are zeros only. Short dated 0DT options, which they make up almost 70% of the market now. Nearly 70% of the entire options chain is 0DT options. And it's all zeros. What's the source? That is SpotGamma Hero Tool. I use it tide to tide. So on one hand, I use Bookmap's order flow. On the other hand, I use SpotGamma's options flow. And I use them together to figure out the market environment. Now from this, I don't know where to go from here. I do not know where to go from here. So they're still top wicking. So I cannot play any kind of bounce yet. We're not getting a close over the prior high. We're not getting volume. So now, you still have to remain short biased until you see the activity. Remain short biased until you see the activity. There we go. New low of the day. Booyakasha. Fantastic, Shane. Absolutely amazing. I love it. Keep it up. I want to keep them coming, baby. Keep them coming. Look at this. Fan-freaking-tastic, man. All the way down. All the way down. Looking for 22,924. Right here, 960. So this is not a criticism at all, just an observation. I think your play-by-play analysis this morning was much more helpful than a lot of other days because you never got excited in your voice. You were super chill and matter of fact, so that keeps me from getting overly excited and keeps me focused on the price action. Oh, thanks, Matt. Appreciate that, buddy. I try to keep things even-keeled, even when I'm having fun. But, yeah, I appreciate that. I try to keep things even keel when I'm not having fun. Like the morning rampages that happens in the first 15 minutes that I have to watch drives me freaking nuts. I hate watching 200-point rallies without taking a trade. So it's aggravating because it keeps on happening day after day. But that's the environment that we're in. The first 15 minutes is nuts. It's nuts. Little humor doesn't hurt. Oh, yeah, 100%. Going low here. New low of the day still going, and these candles are a little more juicy than the morning candles, which is saying a lot. So, coming on down to 22,925. $925. Where do I re-enter? Is Trump speaking? I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't checked the news. I'm just watching the price action. Lower lows. We haven't had a single higher close. We had a bottom wick with volume that failed, but we did not have a higher high. So you have to remain short biased here until the buyers start to clear higher demand or higher supply. And we haven't. Now I didn't retake a trade for this secondary leg, which is fine. You know, I just had a killer trade. I don't need to take necessarily, although it kind of sucks. So I need to figure out what am I going to do next, if I need to do anything next. Stick to the rules, stick to your criteria. Right now, liquidity is a touch, 62.90, 62.95, but that's it. You do miss the yeah, boy. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome, Philip, or Fat Lip. That was a 140-point move done for me. Muchas gracias. De nada. De nada, senor. What stopped me out? That bottom wick off of my green block. There was two things. Yes, I did not exit on the 3 criteria. True. But it was a combination of where it bounced with the bottom wick. It was aggressive bottom wick with volume and right on my green block. The green block was, centered right on top of it. So yeah, that got me out. But I'm okay with that. In your mind, what are we looking for? Do you go either long or just stop the short leg setup? The 3 criteria. Yeah, so with this move, this is a very aggressive move. They're dumping the crap out of this. So I'm at this point, I'm just going to remain short biased until I see what I need to see. And you can kind of get the feeling of it. Even when you do bounce, you get the W, you get the double bounce. So you have time to get into a long if it bounces. It's fine. You got plenty of time. But I'd like to see the order flow start to come up, which it's starting to. I'd like to see the option chain shift back to calls. But until then, I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to play the short bias and watch the bulls get destroyed who try to chase the highs. Because those who chase is just fuel for going lower. If you get yourself in a weak position, that's just fuel for you to go lower. And not to mention the option flow is ridiculously bearish right now. It flipped big time bearish right now. Still going. Big time bearish right now. Squeeze the shorts, trap the longs. Yeah. That divergence between ES and NASDAQ, do you take into consideration for a high probability setup? There has been a good amount of divergence between the two the past week or so. That's true. Right now, I don't see that much of a divergence. There's I guess a little bit technically. There's about a 1/10 of a percent, but that's not something I'm looking for. I want to see like 0.5%, like a 30% or 0.3%, stuff like that. That's aggressively, and not only that is the direction. Like we had a day a couple of days ago where ES was going higher, NASDAQ was going to new lows. And that, to me, is a very difficult thing to take because you don't know which one's going to do what. Watch the CVD as well. If you see this CVD number start to pump more red, we may go lower here. But, yeah. Crazy stuff, boy. Still going down. $944. If they take out this pivot, look for the 921 pivot. Look at the liquidity that just came on back up at 63.05. I'm not playing to it until I see what I need to see, but that's going to be on my mind if they do bounce it. Until then, I'm remaining short biased. Once we take a short based on 3 criteria, do we exit that short based on the same 3? I mean, conceptually, yes, absolutely. I mean, why would you want a long until you see the buyers start to hit? Because the whole goal here is not only execute and get you in a trade, is to stay in the trade as long as you can profitably. So optimally, yes, you don't want to get out until you see the 3 criteria. Now, there's some arguments against that. I'm a little more lax on getting out than I would be getting in because profits, of course. But if you can just wait until a target where they most likely may show that, then yeah. But what I do recommend is that whatever decision you make to get out, apply it consistently. That way, eventually, you will catch a massive trend. I mean, that right there was a pretty dang nice move. That was like 100 points in no time. I noticed after I changed my limit order to sell put, it seems like the algos are chasing. Also consider your drawdown. If you're in a prop firm, you do have to consider the trailing drawdown, yes, but that should be baked into your decision with whatchamacallit, with your position sizing. So if you are dealing with a prop firm that has a pretty tight drawdown, you can't be slinging big minis, because one wick of a candle and you're going to bust the account. Especially if you're trading something as aggressive as Apex that has a unrealized gains trailing drawdown. Which did they still have that, by the way? Yeah, if you're dealing with Apex, you cannot trade anything more than 1 or 2 minis because you'll blow the count up every single time. It's nearly impossible to trade with Apex. So they already took out the prior low, so now we're going to target 922, 923. That 4-hour top wick looks awfully sharp. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Still going. So do not long this until you see the 3 criteria. Still going. You're only trading 1 ES mini. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go. Look for 922 NASDAQ. I'll try to keep an eye on ES here as well, but I'm trading NASDAQ. ES is 26276. So here's something to consider as well. You see this little setup right here? Hold on, are we on? Let me switch over to my charts for 1 second. Volume analysis. There we go. You see this little setup right here? As bullish as this is, high volume with a bottom wick, when the price action takes out the low, that is even more bearish than it would be bullish if it were to hold. So as bullish as this indication is, especially when you close over the prior high, this is even more bearish. To put on that kind of volume with that kind of bottom wick and then smoke it immediately without putting a higher high in, that shows you how aggressive the sellers are. All right, here we come down to the 922 area. 922 area. Beautiful stuff. I started shifting the way I think last week, not hanging on to a thesis so tightly anymore and focused on interpreting what market is trying to tell me. I love it. One of the biggest things I can give you, especially a very quick fix, like literally, you pull into the mechanic, you say my engine is terrible. They says because you're out of gas. Quick fix, right? Something quick and easy. Stop trading the first 50 minutes of the day. No matter what. Keep your brokerages closed until 9:45. Period. That alone right there will keep most of you out of stupid losses. Can't recommend it enough. I would even recommend going to 10 o'clock, but even I trade the second 15-minute session sometimes. So the first 15 minutes a day, keep your brokerages closed. Open up at, I'm talking not 9:44, 9:45, you open up your brokerages. You can pull in the mechanic with no gas. It was towed in. It was towed into the mechanic with no gas. Am I out? Yes, I am out. Correct. They removed that upside liquidity. They're stacking 6260. Scaling is way better for sure. Yep. Yep. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's a great concept. If your full best exposure is 10 10 minis, or 1 mini, I'm sorry. Use 10 micros and scale in. I think it's a great idea. Scaling into a position is always a great idea. As long as you know when to get out. Because then you get into a situation where you could start dollar cost averaging into a losing trade, which is no bueno. There's a difference between scaling into a thesis and dollar cost averaging into a losing trade. There's a difference. You need to understand that difference in order to use that strategy. What DTE do I trade? I don't scalp options anymore. The only options trades I take are going to be swing trades. So any scalping I do is with futures, whether it be in a prop or my personal account. I'm trading futures for scalping, or short-dated trades at least. I thought it would have been the other way around. No, futures are a better product for that. The zero DTEs are far too aggressive. Now, occasionally I'll throw one on, occasionally. But short-dated options, again, man, it's all about the stats. It's all about the stats. What do the stats tell you? I am not, I'm telling you, like I've already said before, I am not, some once-in-a-lifetime trader. I would consider myself probably, the upper average trader. Not amazing, certainly not the worst, not average, above average. So I can't do anything that is going to be written about in history books. So because of that, why am I going to sit there and trade zeros forever? I mean, there are times to trade zeros. There are times in very volatile markets to trade zeros. When the S&P was moving 200 points in a day, I want to trade zeros because that's the time to trade zeros. The time to trade zeros is not when the market is back and forth in a 10-point range. It's to trade it when the market is up 200 points in a single day, because that's when you get 1, 2, 3,000%. That's the whole point of those products. But in this market, in this environment where we're only putting on, 10, 12 points, 15 points a day, I don't want to trade zeros. Theta is far too aggressive. Far too aggressive. I think everyone goes into it thinking they're going to be the best in the world, and then the market humbles you. Yep. Absolutely. Part of that is because what people see on the internet. People misrepresent how hard this actually is because people don't show the real side of trading. So, the people that have been here long enough and, caught consistent streams know that there's a lot of up and downs. There's times where I want to throw my computer out the window and stop trading forever. There's times where I think I'm, Jordan Belfort. That's part of it, man. It's part of it. Sometimes you can't miss and sometimes you can't hit. $62.90 right here coming up. See what happens. It took me 5 years to understand it fundamentally, also losing thousands, which at my age is a lot. 100%. Yeah. I love when people I tell that I trade, they will be like, yeah, I tried that trading with GameStop and made some money. I've heard that 1,000 times, yeah. Appreciate you, Sam. All right, so we're still rejecting the support resistance. That's what we have here, right? Look at the liquidity on the book. 62.90. They're putting on 62.61. Look at this support resistance flip here. So this whole support area, prior support, now coming up resistance. So down, bounce, fail, retest, lower. So this whole point is a support resistance flip. So if they take this thing lower out, now you have to shift lower on terms of your target. 62, there's 22,923. It's like the train switching tracks. During 2021, I thought everyone was an expert in 2021. 2021 was the easiest year of trading I've ever seen in my life. It was the easiest year of trading. It was ridiculous. 2022 was more difficult. 2023 was more difficult. But 21 was, I mean, that was like crazy. Aim small, miss small. Yeah, The Patriot. Great movie. It's one of my favorites. We just put a new low of the day in, I believe, on NASDAQ. 927. Yeah, by 50 cents we did. 50 cents. How are you finding this year in the rankings? The first quarter, best quarter, play of volatility really well. That's why I did so well in 2022. That's why I did so well in Q1. The second quarter, very, very slow. However, you're new to the server. I faced a tremendous amount of burnout in April, to the point where I was like, I need to pause the server for like 3 months. But obviously I can't do that. Partially because of what I've taken on in my personal life. You know, building, I run a couple of different businesses. I manage properties. I'm building a house, not to mention I'm doing the system. But to me, I've always taken breaks from trading. I've always taken a couple of weeks off from trading on vacation. Since I started the server, I haven't been able to do that. Not a single break, except for like going on a week-long skiing trip. So that's why I've taken Fridays off. I've taken Fridays off to stay away from the chart, stay away from streaming, get away from the computer as much as I can. Come back strong in the fall, baby. Come back strong in the fall. Couple of bottom wicks here. Right into that imbalance at 9 o'clock. All right. I'm hoping to get my TPT accounts funded by the end of July, so I'm ready for fall volatility. Do it, baby. Keep it up. Slow grind. Heading out. I need to take the dog to the vet. Nice McAbagoo. Sounds like I'm in your mouth. I don't know what that means. You're breathing. Oh, sorry. I would join the server. Where is that? Links down in the description of the video, so you can come hang out. You have to sign up on the website first, link your Discord credentials, and then log into the Discord server, which that'll be changing soon because we're in the process of building a completely new website, possibly doing a logo refresh. So we'll see how that happens. Stuck to the bottom, just like we were stuck to the top. Consolidation usually happens before the next move. It's your decision to figure out, is this bottoming for accumulation, or is this continuation for lower prices? On down. On down. There is a family genre, you know. What do you mean? You just said redesign website or both? Both. Well, website definitely. Logo maybe. I'm considering doing a logo rebuild or a refresh or something. Make it a little different. I don't know. I like change. I like the logo too. I wouldn't completely do away with it. I would just kind of like do a refresh or make it pop a little more or something. Mouth breather. Sound like my drill instructor. But website's first priority. I'm going to get the website done. Needs to be sitting on a bonnet of Lambo with grills. Nah. If I buy anything like that, it's going to be a Jetson. Every jabroni with a little bit of money's got a Lambo. How many people do you know have a Jetson? I'm telling you, that's my goal. I'm going to have one of those babies. If I can convince the wife to let me spend $130K, I'm buying one. What's up, Salim? How you doing, buddy? The price action is still failing. Price action is unable to accept a higher price. So what do? We maintain at least a neutral bias, if not a complete bearish bias. It's not time to go long yet. Where'd I find that thing? I saw it on YouTube. Is that one of those flying cars from the cartoon? As close as we can get it with our current technology, yes. Do I have a pick? There's a website. $128,000 set to be delivered in 2027. A personal one-person drone. You don't need a license to buy it, although I'm a licensed pilot, so whatever. I could fly it anyway. And has a giant parachute, so if things go wrong, you pull the parachute, glide to the bottom. Love it. Oh, I'm absolutely going to get one. I told the wife that it's going to happen one day. It's going to happen one day. You're not a supercar person? I am not a supercar person, no. I'm not a big car person. I've never been. Of course, I would love some old vintage cars. You know, I like the old square body pickup trucks, like the 60s, 70s models to rebuild. I'd love to rebuild a 90s model Toyota. You know, I know that's not fancy, but I'd love to. I'm just not a big car person. It does nothing for me, you know. I'm a land guy. My thing is land. That's why I could turn around right now and have the best view in the city. Literally. I'm a land guy. And a plane guy. But kind of live stream off of it, yeah. I don't think my current life insurance policy would cover me. Probably. A startup company I interned for is making their own version of that. Really. Hopefully that becomes more of a, obviously as the years go on, that becomes more common. Price comes down. Quality goes up. How old am I? I am 39. 39 years old. All right, here we go. New low of the day. Coming on down. Coming on down. I started trading when I was 24. 24. Well, I started trading, like really trading when I was 24. I've taken a couple of trades before then, but like the first time I opened up my account and put real money in it was 24 years old. That's what I consider when I started trading. And then I blew everything up, and you know, the rest is history. All right, new low of the day. Still looking for. All right, we already took it out the 923, so you can't go long. There's no bullish thesis because we didn't put in a prior high. So you continue on down. We have liquidity down to 6270. Coming on down. All the way down. Gives me hope. Heck yeah, man. Gives me hope. All right, bottom wick. But remember, you know, I didn't become successful from scalping. I didn't start scalping until 2021. Everything until then was swing trading, long-term investing. That was it. And stock trading. I started out stocks. I did not touch futures or options to start out. I started out in stocks. I think that's what I attribute my success to, because I was able to stay in the game long enough to learn it rather than blowing up my account with options and futures. Was it your best years? It was one of my best years, yes. But it was on easy mode. There was no such thing as puts in 2021. It was all calls. I used to work for Zero. I will never fly an electric vehicle. Hey, if it's got a parachute, though, I'm willing to try it. FOMC minutes are today, not the event. I live in Florida. At this rate, I'll never own a home. Yeah, hopefully that'll change one day. So it can fly safely. You can lose one motor completely and still fly safely. It has a quick, rapid deployment parachute, hands-free hovering, redundant battery system, and radar sensor-driven auto landing system. Love it. Shows how many people have over 100K to blow. AK non-refundable deposit. Yeah, production sold out. Yeah, that's what sucks. You gotta get 2027. You say all the same stuff as Thick Teddy on X. I think it's your secret. I have no idea who that is. Maybe he's saying the same stuff as me. You ever thought about that? It always makes me laugh how y'all reference other people. Like I should bow down to them. Like maybe they need to bow down to me. I'm just kidding. My dad and I were saying the same thing the other day. It's imperative to simply last long enough to become profitable. Yeah, you got to get your reps in. Navy SEALs, their motto is you're never out of the fight. You're never out of the fight. All right, so with that bottom wick, that to me looks like a textbook liquidity sweep. We have a 5-minute higher high. We have a quick move down with the bottom wick. All that stuff is a bottom wick to go higher. Once you have the 22,964, that's your indication to start going long. Now, do you have the maturity, if that were to happen, to take off your bearish bias and start playing long? But you need the 3 criteria. We have liquidity up to 62.90. Surprised you don't play Flight Simulator or build a simulator setup. Man, I've been flying for, you know, I've got thousands of hours in military aircraft. I don't know. Flight simulators don't do it for me anymore. I did when I was younger. I played Flight Sim. I have a pretty fancy joystick. I don't even have it downloaded on my computer. All right, here we go. Green mood, baby. Can we do it? Can we do it? I flew a Cessna 182 once and it was incredible. Can't imagine the feeling of a jet. It's very fun. It's very fun. All right, here we go. Green move. Once you get over the 962 and close it, that's your indication to start going back into a long. Am I a vet? Yes, I am. Air Force pilot, baby. Best job in the world. Move back to 23,000? Possibly. Possibly. Do we have volume on the yes to long? Not a lot, no. Nor do we have it on NASDAQ. But we have the wick, we have the prior high. So it's not like I'm getting, you know, super excited about a move. But then, of course, we're reaching the end of my stream. Speaking of which, Bookmap is now running a 50% off 4th of July sale for Bookmap Global Plus in their data. So if you're interested in getting Bookmap 50% off, get it before July 11th, before it's too late. There's the link. And there's a link. There's a great Thunderbirds documentary on Netflix. I love the Thunderbirds, man. Of course, I prefer, my opinion, I prefer the F-16 over the F-18, but I love the Thunderbirds. What's the significance of 962 off from the heat map? 962 was just removed, but we had some liquidity here. Now look, they're putting on 23,000 again, 23,015, 23,967. So right in this area, skews higher. Skews higher. 2 of the 3 criteria. Well, it's like I said, it's okay to trade off the 2 of the 3 criteria, but what can you not do? You cannot play with confidence until you have all 3. The more criteria you have, the higher confidence you play. That's the indication. Much like when I was watching TLT yesterday for it to continue down, it's amazing how the market will reverse on you as soon as you say don't short, don't long. There you go. I used to live in Pensacola. I remember watching the Blue Angels numerous times. So yeah. So we just closed over the prior high after a nice sweep. There's your indication. No volume, but you have 2 of 3. Saw the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, same air show. That'd have been cool. Same air show. I've never been to an air show where they're together. Still going. Still going. It's rare, yeah. Where would you put your stop here, low of the day? If you're long, I would put my stop, depends on where you entered. If you're entering right here around 965 or so, I would set my stop somewhere in the 950 area because that would give it opportunity to retrace into support, bottom wick, do all that fun stuff. If you put it below prior low, I mean, you're risking 60, 70 points, which I think for most people, 60, 70 points in NASDAQ is too much. So I would set it about 950. Sat on the tarmac. Nice. Most of the air shows I've watched have been from the tarmac simply because I'm in the Air Force, but I'm down 20% on my longs. When'd you enter? So liquidity is being pulled up back to 23,000. Plus you have the 50% retracement, which we'll look for. Still going. There we go. Beautiful. 3 criteria. Beautiful, beautiful work. Beautiful, beautiful work. London's buying the close. Here you go. I hope that if anything you've learned from the stream today, the 3 criteria coupled with a little bit of patience will keep you. Now, is it perfect? No. There's a little slop in there. There's a little room for wiggle. But the whole theme here is keep you safe until you see an actionable position other than, holy crap, this looks good, let me enter. Even if you don't like the 3 criteria, it's still setting up a framework for you to start making decisions, to think about entries. And that's it. That's it. Nothing I'm going to give you, and nothing Thick Teddy's going to give you, is perfect. Nothing's going to work 100% of the time. But can it work consistently enough for you to drive an edge, for you to bring the axe inside the wood shop and start refining that edge a little bit? And hopefully you can get as thick as Teddy. Is it possible for you to explain the 3 criteria you're referring to? I can. See if I can do it in about a minute. Yeah, so 3 criteria is a sign of reversal. You can even apply it to continuation too, but it's a little bit differently. So the 3 criteria, if you're looking for price action, let me just switch over my stream here. There you go. Matt's got it. I'll visualize it, but Matt's rules is perfect right there. If you're looking for 3 criteria from a price action that goes higher and you want to short it, or just to get you out of a long, if you want a decision on what to get you out of a long, you can apply it either way. You need a top wick, you need volume, you need a close below a prior low. So this orange line would be prior low, 23,074. So we have it. We have a top wick, we have volume, we have a prior low close, which is right here. So your optimum short entry is right here, right there. That will do 2 things. It'll keep you into a bullish long bias until it's time to stop being bullish long. It'll keep you in your long until it's time to get out, and it'll keep you from shorting until it's time to short. Now, is it perfect? Again, no. Will it get you into some losing trades sometimes? Yes, as does all things. But this will keep you into a structurally safe market condition. Period. And in my opinion, it'll tune up most of your losses that some of you are taking. Get you thinking. That's a great idea. I'm going to pin it. All right, y'all, that is 10:30. Is there anything we gathered from the USD/JPY? Not really. I stopped following it. If you have any question about anything, please let me know. If you're new to the server, come hang out with us. Join. We do streams every single day. If not, I'll see you next Wednesday for another Bookmap stream at 10:30. Go take advantage of that 4th of July 50% off deal. Until then, I'm out. See you.